Jackie from Lessons by the Lake. Today I want to talk to you about morning meeting greetings. So when you're planning greetings and morning meeting for your classroom, it's really hard to pick what the students are going to need that day. So I have my greetings planned out for the year usually and all parts of my morning meeting. There's so many options to pick from, so I just like having a schedule. But then the day of, you might need to switch things up. So the greeting really sets the tone of the day and how you're going to start together as a classroom family. But you usually have some time with your students before you get to that greeting. Like my students would come in, get unpacked, they would eat breakfast, we'd have the announcements, and then we would do morning meeting. So I had some time to talk to them a little bit and kind of gauge the tone of the classroom before we actually jump into morning meeting. So I was able to make those last minute switches if I needed to. So it's important to think about how you want your students to feel and what you want them to do during that greeting. So most greetings you can infuse some type of social emotional learning, which I absolutely love because the students don't even realize that they're practicing that skill. They're just enjoying the fun of the greeting, and the social emotional learning just kind of floats on into them while it's happening. So that's part of what I think of, and I also think of the categories. So the different categories that we have for greetings, there's so many different types. So the categories are that they share about themselves. So while they're greeting each other, they might say something about themselves or what they're thinking. Movement in their spot, so they're still in their circle. Maybe they have to jump up and down like a frog, maybe they have to dance a little bit. Movement across the circle, so that's if they're switching spots or walking over to someone else. Passing, rolling, or throwing an object around the circle. So that's a big one I like to think about. So the tone of your class really influences if they can handle throwing an object around the circle. There are some days that I've had students be really hyper and have a lot of energy, and we need a calm greeting to center us and get ready for the day. So throwing a ball around the room would just further heighten their energy and get them more excited and not have them ready to be starting learning in a few minutes. There's some greetings where they touch each other. She might be shaking hands, tapping each other on the shoulder, but just think about if it might not be the day for that. If you have a few students not feeling well or how they're acting that day, if touching is appropriate. There's greetings where you go in order around the circle or out of order, and students are calling on each other and having to pick people. Now there are some classes that I've had students be very fair about picking other people around the circle and not always picking their friends, and there's other classes that I've had to work on that. So think about the personality of your classroom and what best fits their needs and will make it the best experience possible for them. So there's greetings where you do four corners, that you stand in the four corners of the classroom. So make sure that your classroom setup works for that day if that's what you want to do. If you're collecting for the canned food drive and one corner is full of bags of cans, it might not be so easy for students to stand there. So just think about the setup of the classroom and make sure that that's going to work for you that day. There are greetings that are educational. So if you have a test coming up that day and you want to throw in a quick review of some math facts, maybe you need to do a greeting that incorporates math facts. And there's also greetings that work in partners. So all of these different categories represent all the options of greetings. So there's greetings that fit multiple categories, but when you're thinking about your students that day, make sure that the greeting that you're using is appropriate to best start off their day, to set that tone that we are a classroom family, we're going to learn together, and we're going to try our best. So on my blog, I have a free download that lists these categories. It gives you a free greeting for each of them, so you can try them out and make sure you understand the different categories. If you need help planning your morning meeting for your classroom personality and your needs, please let me know. I'm happy to help you and pick out some activities and greetings that best would fit your classroom style. And just make sure morning meeting is fun. That's the most important part. I'll put some other links to my resources that I have, like my greeting cards and my pre-planned morning meeting. I'm happy to do anything to help you out, and I hope thinking about these categories gives you some more insight in how to best plan morning meeting for your students. And let me know if there's anything that I can do to help. Thank you for stopping by.